The next gauge here is the monetary policy, and you touched on that a little bit when you were talking about the economy, but I'm sure we could expand on that as well. Looks like the monetary policy have shifted to the negative side of the dial as well.
Yeah, the market reacting to the reality that the Fed is genuinely on the inflation case earnestly and aggressively is the primary reason, why we've seen a lot of the volatility. Of course, war and politics and corporate profit, guesses are always part of it. But monetary policy shifts have really been the main reason that we've moved this to a half backward position. Several more rate hikes are expected in 22 and 23.
Mm-hmm.
But the markets, seem to have priced a lot of this in, and interest rates are still low from a historical perspective, which is why we technically have interest rates at a neutral, but monetary policy at a deep, kind of half, reverse position.
Okay.
The Fed's balance sheet, which was at $4 trillion prior to the pandemic, expanded to $9 trillion. So there's a lot more money in the system. We've seen in the past several years that when the Fed increases its balance sheet, stocks do react favorably. And the same formula kind of played out in March, from 2020, March 2020 through the highs that we saw through the end of last year. Now the Fed, begins their rate hikes and reduction of the balance sheet. And the market is really, not liking, that type of approach from the Fed. Due in part to this change in Fed policy, the market environment is going to be volatile this year. We know one of the primary tools that they use is raising interest rates, which is, what they're planning on doing. They've already hiked a quarter percent, a 0.5%, and then a 0.75%, which is really the largest interest rate hike they've done since the 1970s. We do expect them to continue to hike until they reach a level where inflation comes back under control. So that's why we have monetary policy has been the biggest shift in our gauges of late. And it is the primary reason that we're seeing volatility in the markets these days.